Okay, welcome to 10 Tech Entrepreneurs Nebraska, brought to you by the Nebraska Tech Collaborative, powered by Exarden. I am Shauna Dorsey, Executive Director of the NTC, and who knows when this will air, but right now, interim Executive Director of Intern Nebraska, powered by Exarden. I am here with a very special guest because she co-runs this fabulous space, Weberized, where we host or record, I should say, the 10 podcast series and our other podcasts. So, Margie,
Yeah.
thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us. It's
Yes,
great.
It's so great.
I say us, it's me, Margie, but my husband and I, we run Weberized Podcast Studio. And it's a pleasure to have your recordings here. And we're just happy to be able to help.
I love it. And, he's here like in the background doing production stuff. So that it kind of counts, Richard.
Yes.
I'm still going to count it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so tell us a little bit about how you got into this and why it matters to you.
That's all about us. Like, that's our backstory. We got started into this. So we both worked in news. That's where we met. And then since transitioning out of news, we wanted to find a way to utilize our skills to help other people tell stories, because that's what's really important to us, is people being able to own their story and tell it themselves in a way that's meaningful to them. So that's when we decided to have a go at it. Like, the opportunity came up where I could do some independent contract work, and then Richard and I could collaborate on the podcasting side of things. And really one of the very first hurdles was finding a space.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we were so lucky. Like, our little circle of creative friends were like, try the Mastercraft. So we toured it, and it was essentially perfect. We knew the community would be great. We knew it was the place for creatives. And now with Millwork Commons, like, building up all around it, it's been such a cool experience to see and be a part of, like, seeing how the different industries can come together and collaborate. And there's community events, and like Hutch is awesome because there's so many makers and things happening that it's just really cool, a good vibe to be part of.
Yeah, no, it's so awesome. And speaking of millwork, that's how I ended up here, because when I first joined the NTC back in January 2023, I was like, we should totally have a podcast. And I don't know anything about video editing or any of that stuff. And I think like the long form podcasts just don't work for me because I have like short attention span.
Yeah.
So
totally.
Anyway, I was just like, where could I go? I don't know. And so I reached out to Jeff Slobotsky. He referred me to you, and the rest is history. So he's a great community partner that way.
Yes. It's a great connector and just building up everything that's going on in the neighborhood and around for Omaha, really, I would say. So it's been really cool to be part of.
Yeah.
And the fact that we can collaborate now too because of that.
Yes.
Just really neat.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
So you're also now at Do Space.
Oh, yeah. I teach a workshop about monthly of how to launch a podcast. And really the core of it is, I don't know if you've ever Googled really anything these days. Like, you get so much information. It's overwhelming.
Yes.
Everyone's trying to sell you something. So my goal was to just kind of put it into workable steps. And so, like, that first step I always tell people is write a mission statement for your show. And then from there, we break down like everyone's roles, whether it's just you, like you're a one-person team, you're wearing all these hats. And I really encourage people to put that on their resume because that's transferable skills. Yeah. And then from roles to the tech you're going to use. And then from tech you're going to use to all the scheduling stuff and a little bit of writing. Like, just break it down. And then there's resources out there now and tools that make editing easier, that make the writing easier. That it's really been... even in the last year is what I've been seeing lately, is like the last year with AI and those tools, like there's so much more to help make the workflow faster.
That's awesome. So what are some of your favorite tools that you've seen lately?
So my favorite lately has been ChatGPT. And then I cross-reference too with Bard. Like, I'm using both kind of at the same time.
Okay.
Like 2 different tabs. I have a lot of tabs open all the time. And then from Bard, from AI, moving on from there, there's a service called Headliner that helps you kind of clip up your show really easily and puts the captions on there automatically for you. So that's super handy for that social media aspect. And then there's just from editing tools, there's lots of filters. Richard knows all about all the filters that make everyone sound great.
Huh.
And so he's really our post-production, I don't want to say guru because I kind of hate that word, but expert. He's the expert at it.
That is so awesome. So if we back up a little bit, you're thinking ChatGPT for like helping with script development, and then Bard, how do you use that? And maybe actually if you could just walk us through like how you would start with ChatGPT and just kind of walk someone through an example of this.
Yeah. So what I like to do, or what I'm experimenting with anyway, because I'm no means an expert, but trying it out, I use Dropbox to put the file in, and it's automatically giving transcriptions.
Awesome.
So I don't have to pay for that anymore. And then I copy that transcription into a query for ChatGPT, and I ask it, can you summarize this? And provide 4 options for the summary. And I pick and choose parts of it, edit together like an episode description, essentially. And then once I have that, I'll put that finalized version of an episode description in there, and I'll be like, can you help me brainstorm an episode title? And then provide 4 options, and then pick what I like out of it. And what I always recommend for episode titles is use a person's name, because that's an SEO sort of tactic. Everyone's looking for the expert's name or that sort of thing. And then you have your description, your episode title, and then you can use it for developing social media. So you've got that chat history in there now. You can be like, based on our chat history, can you help me write some social media posts? And then provide 4 options.
Yep.
So it's just an easier and much faster workflow.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then where does Bard come in?
So sometimes when I don't really like what ChatGPT is giving me, I'll do the same sort of workflow on Bard.
Gotcha. So it's another generative AI tool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So one thing I just learned, because what I typically do when I'm producing or releasing these episodes is I will listen to the entire episode, because usually it's months ago and I can't remember what we talked about.
Yeah.
So listen to the entire episode, drop what I think is a summary into chat, ask for an overview, a title, all the things like you just said. But I love the idea of using Dropbox to pull the transcript, drop that into ChatGPT, and then do all the rest of the steps, because that right there saves me maybe 10 to 20 minutes, because sometimes as a person with a short attention span, I will get distracted while listening to a podcast, even a 10-minute one.
Same.
I still get distracted. So I have to re-listen to it and then pull together a summary. So this is brilliant. And I just saved myself more time.
And that's
by
the
listening
thing.
to you.
Yeah.
So amazing.
Yay. And hopefully it's helpful for others.
Yes.
Yeah. And Dropbox, like that's just an added thing that they've done in the last year with all that. So all these tools are just exponentially getting better, especially when it comes to adding in the AI functionality. It's cool.
Yeah, no, that's super helpful. And then I think a lot about small business owners and people who want to tell their stories in different ways. And now this is a process by which you can do it pretty affordably.
Yes, that's a core value for us, because podcasting is something you can do on your own. We absolutely know that. It's just, like I said, it's overwhelming. And then you have someone like us with the skills and experience where we can kind of coach you along. And then eventually, go ahead and go do it on your own, you know, and you can dip your toe in the water without having to invest in like your own gear and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yes.
Okay. So what do you hope to see happen in Greater Omaha, like as far as the podcasting storytelling scene goes?
Omaha is so full of creative people and a arts community that like I find it so fulfilling. And so what I would like to see as far as our podcasting scene is more connectivity and opportunities to kind of network and meet. And so that's actually been turning in the back of my mind these past few months about how can I help develop that. So I've got some things that maybe I'm thinking about and just got to pull the trigger on. But I would like to see us kind of build a little scene. Like I want us to do live podcasts. I want us to be able to do like meet and greets. And I think there's a core set of podcasters that are out there and can cross interview on other people's podcasts, like just connecting everyone.
That's interesting. Yeah, you should totally host like a meetup for podcasters.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to do that.
That'd be so fun. I'll be there.
Okay.
Well, thanks for hosting. Thanks for all you guys do for us. We really appreciate it. It's a huge time saver and it's so awesome. So thank you.
Thank you for letting us support it. It's great.